4 new Civics wasn't enough, Honda now has yet another new model calculated to get those blood pressures rising in Detroit's boardrooms. This time it's the 1984 Honda Prelude. New last spring, the Prelude's base price is $99.95, though we've heard many dealers are asking a lot more. With a wheelbase of 96.5 inches, this second-generation Prelude is almost 8 inches longer than its much-criticized predecessor. And as we're about to see, it's a lot more interesting to drive, too.
While the original Honda Prelude's performance was about as exciting as a Brahms lullaby, the new car travels to a much more sophisticated beat. With a brand new engine and one of the most complex front suspensions found on any production car, the new Prelude is finally the semi-serious driving machine it was supposed to have been but wasn't. The Prelude sports a highly modified McPherson strut front end with unusual unequal length control arms. This compact, flexible system is supposed to allow the tires to retain superior contact with the road during hard cornering and compensate for the car's very modest body roll. With a good average speed through our slalom of 43 miles per hour, we think it works. The hard effort rack and pinion steering unit provides very good road feel as the car's slight and predictable understeer increases at the same rate as its speed. With the lightly loaded rear end telegraphing its intentions far in advance, the reworked Prelude is a delightfully safe car to sling around. As for power, the Prelude's 4-cylinder engine sports 1.8 liters of rapid motoring trinkets. They include a belt-driven overhead cam, a triple set of carburetors, and a heat-resistant 3-valve per-cylinder aluminum titanium alloy head. Output of the 5-speed version rates at 100 horsepower and 104 pounds of torque, a 33% improvement over the old car and equal to many modern engines half again as large. Yet you still get the excellent fuel economy of the first Prelude, thanks to Honda's unique CVCC combustion system. EPA mileage estimates are healthy at 26 miles per gallon city and 38 on the highway. Our 100-mile test loop produced 29, just where it should be. By the clock, acceleration times were just fine, with a good rating for a 0 to 60 dash of 10.7 seconds. The manual shift linkage is just as sweet and precise as the clutch is prickly and vague. The Prelude's torque curve is strong, if typically biased towards the low to mid-range. Coupled with excellent gear spacing, it produced a quick quarter-mile time of 16.8 seconds, though the terminal speed of 77 isn't going to worry many V8 Mustangs or Camaros. But it almost seems like Honda's engineers concentrated too much on the Prelude's underpinnings and motor, since the car's combination disc drum braking system seems far less well conceived. While stops were short from 55 miles per hour, only a scant 103 feet on average, fade developed quickly. There was also some shuttering of the front end, and the system consistently pulled the car a bit to the right. While our Honda was not as tail-happy as most front-drive cars, it took a lot of leg muscle to overcome the fast-rising resistance of the brake pedal. Combined with the stiff steering, it makes the Prelude a poor choice for the non-Wheaties eaters for sure. But then, everything else about the Prelude says it may not be for the conventional-minded after all. Styling is almost bizarre. For instance, whatever happened to the grille? Black paint and trim carry the illusion of air inlets high and wide over the concealed headlight doors. But thanks to the compact front suspension, the fender and hood line is very low. And while the barricade-like rear end is just the opposite, they combine to give the Prelude one of the most pronounced wedge shapes since the Triumph TR7. The interior on the Prelude is also out of the ordinary, if far more functional and systematic than last year's coupe. Seats offer terrific support but are low to the ground. The driver has to slide well under the steering wheel, like, say, a race car. Better for long legs, though tall heads may still find the Prelude's helmet room lacking. Everything inside the Prelude ends at the same height. The dash, the door tops, seat backs, everything. That makes you feel like you're sitting in a bubble, but boy is visibility good. Those doors also include multiple side window defrosters and occupant heat vents, most thoughtful. Vent controls and the radio are all housed neatly together in a simple arrangement. Simple for Honda, that is. The instrument cluster also ranks as one of their best yet, with big clear dials for speed, RPM, fuel, and coolant temperature. However, about the best we can say for the Prelude's rear seating is that it's fine if you don't have any legs. Honda must have figured this one out early, since the bench folds flat to add even more room to the Prelude's impressive trunk space. So in a few words, Honda seems to have listened well to all its critics of the first Prelude, doing a much improved job the second time around. And they're still listening. Preludes imported after October 1983 will include power steering as standard, correcting the overly hard effort of our car. Plus, four-wheel disc brakes should cure our lack of stopping confidence, making the new generation Honda Prelude an even more desirable car.